Have you ever heard the terms RAM and ROM when talking about computers or cell phones? Or maybe you've seen cell phone specs that say 8 GB RAM, 128 GB ROM. Then you wonder, what does that mean? Well, in this video, I'll explain what RAM and ROM are, the differences, their functions for our devices, and why you need to understand this, even if you're not a technical person. Relax, I'll explain it in easy-to-understand language. Let's get started. First, let's talk about RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. RAM is like your desk. The bigger your desk, the more items or tasks you can open and work on at once. For example, open YouTube while listening to Spotify, while typing assignments. Well, RAM is used to store temporary data from the applications you are using. So when you open an application, the data is stored in RAM so it can be accessed quickly. But because it's temporary, when you turn off your phone or computer, the data in RAM is immediately lost. That's why if you haven't saved your document and suddenly your laptop turns off, well, it's gone. It's all gone. Now let's talk about ROM. ROM stands for read-only memory. ROM can be said to be like a permanent storage cabinet. Its contents are important data or systems that cannot be changed carelessly. On a phone or computer, ROM usually stores the operating system or firmware. So even if you turn off the device, the contents of the ROM are still safe. The contents of ROM are permanent, and we can't rewrite them easily. Usually they can only be read, as the name suggests, read only. But nowadays, the term ROM is often used to refer to a phone's internal memory. For example, if your phone says ROM 128 GB, that's not actually a real ROM. It's more like flash storage, like a small SSD on a phone. But because it's common, people call it ROM too. It's a bit confusing, but it's become a marketing habit. So, to avoid confusion, let's conclude. RAM is temporary memory to run active applications. ROM is permanent memory to store important systems and data. If we compare it, RAM is your desk for fast work. ROM is a filing cabinet to store important documents. If the RAM is small, your phone will be slow when you open many applications. If the ROM is small, you can't install many applications or save files. So both are very important, even though they have different functions. Oh yeah, one more thing. RAM now also has types. There's DDR3, DDR4, DDR5. The newer it is, the faster and more efficient it is. Then the capacity is also varies. For today's phones, the minimum is 6 GB and above. But the bigger it is, the more comfortable it is. For laptops, 8 GB RAM is enough for light tasks. But for design or editing, 16 or more is better. ROM or internal storage is also bigger the better. In the past, a 16 GB cell phone was enough. Now, 128 GB is sometimes still full, especially if you like taking photos, videos, and installing lots of applications. So now you know, RAM is not a place to store files. ROM is not just for reading the system, but also a place to store applications and media. The point is, RAM is for work, ROM is for storage. Hopefully this explanation makes you understand more about the technology behind your cell phone or laptop. If you have any questions or are still confused about RAM and ROM, just write them in the comments column. And if you like videos like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss other technology explanations. See you in the next video.